Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Southern Fried Sushi Gal. My name is Jessie and today I'm making a taco chicken spaghetti casserole. So first we're going to preheat the oven to 350, get it going. Next we're going to get some water boiling on the stove for our angel hair pasta. And so I had to buy the big box because that's all they had at Aldi, and the recipe only calls for 8 ounces. So I'm going to get out my food scale and I'm going to measure out about 8 ounces because I don't know about everybody else, but I either make too little or enough to feed, a small army, and I'm only a family of 3, so I don't need enough for a small army. So this won't be perfect because the noodles kind of spread out and fall off, but it'll just give me a general idea of what I'm working with. So we're going to get this measured out. See, they fell, of course. So I'm gonna gather those up and break them in half, put into the pot, get them all in there. Next, I'm gonna get my salt grinder. I'm trying to show you all that. It says S on there for salt. And I'm just gonna give it a few little grinds. All right, so next we're going to get all the wet ingredients mixed into a bowl and the seasoning. So first things first is we are going to get our cream of chicken, which I will show you in just a moment exactly what I used. Scraping 1 can in. All right. So here's the other can, and now I'm showing it to you. It's the Fit and Active brand from Aldi. All of this is from Aldi with the exception of the rotisserie chicken. So I'm gonna pour that in the bowl. You can use any variation of cream soup that you like. I think this is best with just cream of chicken, but you can always change it up. So next I'm going to put in an entire container of the light sour cream from Aldi. You can of course use the full fat one if you'd like, or you can even use Greek yogurt. I do like to use that sometimes also. I'm gonna put that whole thing in there. And then next, I'm going to put in a small jar of salsa. This is the specialty salsa from Aldi. You could buy the bigger one and only use however much you need out of there. I just really wanted to have 1 cup because my son only likes a specific kind of salsa with his chips, and that's what we keep in the fridge. But we didn't have enough for this recipe, and I didn't want to buy another container of that, so I bought this one specifically for this. It was good though. Next, I'm gonna put in it's about a tablespoon of taco seasoning. So you can use a packet of taco seasoning, or I make my own and I only had that much left. So I just used that and I didn't worry about adding any more seasoning in because with the salsa, I felt like that was gonna have a lot of flavoring to it. So now I'm gonna get it all mixed up real good. And next, I'm pulling out some cheese, the main ingredient in chicken spaghetti. This is the Mexican style from Aldi. They also have the taco style from Aldi, or you can really use whatever kind of cheese you want, to be honest. But since we were doing the salsa, I used the Mexican cheese. So I'm measuring out about a cup. Doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm gonna dump that in there, and then I'm gonna give this a good stir up. Oh yeah, I dropped some on the counter and I just put that back in because my counters were very clean. Cleaned them right before we started all this. All right. right, so next I'm going to shred up this chicken. You can use chicken breasts that you boil and season yourself. I was trying to get dinner on the table before my husband left. He had a band gig tonight, and I like to have dinner ready before he goes, because otherwise then he's either stopping for fast food or he's eating food from wherever they're playing, and then he's, you know, spending the profits that he's making. So I try not to do any of that. So first of all, I'm just taking off the chicken legs and the wings. Because we're not going to need those. I'll probably use those in another recipe later this week, or my husband or my son will just eat them. So pulling all that off. So next I'm going to take that skin off, because I don't need the skin in the recipe. I just need the breast meat. Alright, so now I'm going to cut the breast off of the bone and shred the chicken into my mixture that I already mixed up. Get all that shredded. It really doesn't have to be perfect. You can use 2 forks. I just used my hand. It was faster. It didn't have to be in small pieces. If you like it in small pieces, you can do that. Cutting the other breast. Getting that all shredded in there. Now the recipe only calls for 2 cups of chicken, but I just went ahead and shredded up the breast that we had. So next I'm going to take the carcass from the chicken and I'm going to put it in a freezer bag. I will freeze this and use it to make homemade chicken broth or bone broth, whatever you want to call it. We just call it homemade chicken broth, to freeze and use for later recipes. Putting up that leftover chicken so it can be used. Okay, now I'm giving all that a good stir. Get it all mixed up. Putting my chicken in the freezer. Or sorry, my chicken carcass. Getting things cleaned up. All right, so now I'm checking the noodles to see, make sure that they are ready to be used. You don't want them too soft, obviously, because this is all going to go into a casserole for you to bake. And of course, angel hair cooks pretty quickly. I'm going to spray down my pan with this olive oil spray that I also get from Aldi. Alright, so now I am getting the noodles out of the water, getting that all shaken up, and I'm going to put them back in the pot after I shake all the water out. And then I'm going to add my mixture with the chicken and all the wet stuff and the taco seasoning. Oh, and of course it's got the cheese in it. And we're going to get all that mixed up. Now at this point, I was thinking I'd made a little too much. Just made a lot more for my family than I thought it would. So next time I'll probably either cut this in half or make 2 casseroles and freeze one of them. So I'm putting it over here, putting it into my greased pan. Yeah, see, for us, this is going to be about 8 big servings, which we will not eat. I probably will freeze some of these portions just so it doesn't get wasted. All right, so I'm gonna kind of get that even out so it cooks evenly when I put it in the oven. And next, I'm going to get the bag of cheese and I'm going to measure out another cup of cheese. This doesn't really cover the, like if you like your top to be just completely covered in cheese, you can use more, because when you sprinkle this on top, it's gonna look like it doesn't really cover it, but when you pull it out of the oven, all that cheese melts really nicely. So I just felt like this was enough, but if you like more cheesy, you know, go ahead, you know. You should probably measure cheese with your heart, not a measuring cup. So next I'm gonna grab some tin foil, also from Aldi. And I'm gonna put it over this casserole dish. Nice and tight. And then I'm gonna slide it into the oven. So this is an extra step that you don't have to take, but since this is more of like a Mexican Spanish chicken spaghetti, I like to have toppings for any type of Mexican taco casserole. So I'm just cutting up a tomato and getting that diced up. You can also top the casserole with this the last maybe 5 minutes of cooking if you like it. I'm not gonna do that because my son is not gonna want these toppings. Only my husband and I are going to want anything like this. So I cut up just one tomato and then I had some green onions. I love green onions. So I got about 2 stalks of those, rinse those off, and chop these up real good. And lastly, I got a can of black olives, again from Aldi. I'm gonna open up the can. I'm not gonna use all of them. I'm just gonna pull out some of them and cut them into fourths to put on there. I would prefer that these be baked on top of the casserole. It's just something my mom used to do growing up with all sorts of types of Mexican casseroles, but I just put them on the side just in case. I didn't want my son to refuse to eat it and then us have unusable leftovers. I'm sure others can relate. All right. Getting everything cleaned up. Showing you my little bowls, and now the casserole is ready. My arm's in the way, of course. And see, look at how the cheese just melted right over the top. It's so good. And this is the finished plate. I just served it with some lettuce on the side that you could put dressing on. We'd already dug in. I'm showing you how it looks on the inside. But anyways, thanks for watching, and please subscribe. Have a great evening.